So basically, I'm just gonna keep it real. One, he's a fascist, and two, even though he says he's denazifying Ukraine, he's the real neo-Nazi himself. And not only that, but not only are a lot of his war criminal soldiers in Ukraine a bunch of neo-Nazis committing war crimes left, right, and center, but one of his buddies, some guy who owns a PMC group called Wagner, he's another neo-Nazi in that little circle. Especially since I saw him with some SS tattoos over here, as well as some other Nazi insignia from the German army back from World War II. I actually think they're different, and if I had to be honest, I would say that a better comparison would be actually Adolf Hitler, because Putin is definitely an authoritarian strongman with a massive army, along with the Cold Hard. But the thing though is, Stalin was a communist, and Putin, he's a fascist. So that's my basis for comparing him to Adolf Hitler. And one thing I've noticed on the Ukrainian subreddit is that a lot of people also call him Putler, or like Adolf Putin, or Vladimir Putler. Again, just because of how what he's doing in Ukraine is more a result of fascism. Because even though Putin and Stalin are both cold-hearted, iron-fisted authoritarian rulers, Putin doesn't have any of that major Marxist doctrine in him, besides wanting to have greater control and especially influence over the former Soviet republics. Thus, those are my arguments and justifications for saying that he's more of a would-be Tsar of some type of new Russian empire, rather than bringing back the Soviet Union, like a lot of other political analysts would say. Okay, so assuming that the fascist doesn't launch any nuclear weapons in Ukrainian soil, or especially in NATO soil, like Lithuania or Poland, the way I see it is that more Russian soldiers are going to die. And by the way, in just a week, even though the exact numbers have yet to be verified, there's also reports of more Russian soldiers dying in the past week than the entirety of all the Russian soldiers who died in the first war in Chechnya from 1994 to 1996. Anyway, so the way I see that is just basically that if things continue to go on, that again, like I said, more Russian soldiers are going to die, and not only that, but more Russia's economy is going to be strangled more by the insane amounts of sanctions, as well, to the point where the people on the Russian side of the border are going to really start hurting. And my speculation is that even if Putin is hiding in some bunker in Siberia, as some people say, I'm pretty sure that someone's going to snap and eventually try to overthrow him, whether it be an assassination attempt or even just usurping power themselves. Well, besides offering political asylum and refuge to the Ukrainian people, which I think now is hit over 1 million since last week. Which, by the way, the population of Ukraine prior to last week was somewhere between 44 to 45 million. I can't give a definitive answer, if I had to be honest. Well, all I can think about is just either helping you or giving Ukrainians refuge, or I guess just protecting some of the more, just having some forces to protect some of the NATO countries like Poland or Lithuania, because I believe Article 5 in NATO is when it gets serious. Because one thing I've noticed that Biden said about is that he made it clear that he won't send troops to fight in Ukraine itself, but let's say a nuclear missile hits Poland, God forbid, then that's when things get serious. So I was just thinking that, if anything, that they should just put troops on standby on actual NATO countries like, again, Poland. Don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I would say that's an understatement, especially since I also wanted to see other former Soviet republics like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and so on. But especially since I'm an American citizen, it looks like Russia or Belarus won't be safe for me or any other American citizen to go to in the time being, even just to go sightseeing around St. Petersburg, which, by the way, is very unfortunate.